Wonderful poetry. So I'm gonna share my screen. My first poem today is called The Tale of Two Moons, and it's a fictional tale. And it starts off with this question in Chinese. 你知不知道为什么朋友的朋有两个月字吗? And the question means, do you know why the character Peng, which is right here, is made up of the two characters 月, which is moon, and so that's why it's called The Tale of Two Moons. And let me begin the poem. Great Grandma asked as her spindly fingers probed a stick to nudge a stray ember into the heart of a fire. Her skin was soft, the way older people's skin become loose bags of water. No, you should respond. You don't know why. The most important lie in storytelling. Well then, she says, I must tell you. Once, long ago, there were two moons. Friends of true equality, they mirrored one another in ways only they understood. Sometimes one would disappear and the other would be full. Sometimes they would both be half moons. Sometimes one would be a fingernail and the other 3/4 full. They were in sync, but only they understood how. This is because they loved each other, but could never learn it. Your hands find the spatula to flip the fish on a stone. It dribbles oil into the fire who crackles in delight. But one day, one of the moons turned towards the other and said they wanted to go join the dust, the mortal world. They had been observing the dust together for centuries, and the moon wanted to experience mortality. The other moon was devastated, so they began to fight and fought for 100 years. During that time, humans began to doubt love and slowly grew suspicious of love. And finally, humans forgot how to love, and war rained the dust. After seeing those destructive years, the moon finally said, go. Go and share love in the dust and never come back. A crack in the fire shoots embers up to blend with the stars. With that, the other moon leaped into the dust, and so the moon is among us, searching for a friend to fill the absence of love in the night sky. So this is a little tale that just frames some of my poems. So this next poem, I wanted to talk a little bit about love and this idea of forgetting love and war, especially now in this time, and wanted to invite everyone into a Tonglen, a small Tonglen breathing exercise. Tonglen breathing is a Buddhist breathing practice where you take in suffering and transform it within you and let it go. So I invite everyone to close their eyes, breathe in. I invite you to hold the grief of so many people's lives right now. Try and connect with maybe the dreams and the memories and the anxieties and fears. And try and breathe out and transform it with something positive in your day and send it that way. Let's try it one more time. Breathing in. And transform within you, letting it out. Last breath, breathing in, trying to hold the tragedy and connect with it. And breathing out, bringing positivity into the world around you. Thank you for doing that. The reason is because the next poem is called Lifta, and it's a poem that I wrote when I visited a village in Palestine called Lifta, and I was lucky enough to speak with someone who grew up there, and the village was taken in the 1967 Nakba. So this is a poem for Lifta. Chiseled stone, eggshells cracked and dusty, the cavities of a home tucked away, silent, still. But with closer attention, beyond the overgrowth and graffiti, that stagnant pool and strewn litter, there is a song of children's laughter at the sight of baked bread, ringing, ringing on the hills. Thank you. The next poem is also going to have some pictures. I thought it would be fun to do. It's called Every Seed is Planted. And these are some photos that I've taken. Every seed is planted, which is to say, we do emerge into this world expecting love. Always the kiss of the sun, that tender tug of the moon. Every moment blooms to belong, every petal an unfurling, a present, and every one of us had earth gently patted above the crowns of our heads by that power who believes in the magic of nothing that will turn into something. This is to say that to want to be loved, to want a better love, is our very nature. Leaves reaching towards the window, striations always stretch as a prayer for love. Thank you. This next one is called Your Eyes, and we're going into more of the romantic love portion. Your eyes softened me, honey dipped glow enveloped me, sun bowed low every step, a slow dance etched in poetic memory. Your eyes changed me, opened my ribs, rearranged me, parted my lips, deranged me, so that hay became a breath tinkling down my spine. Your eyes cared for me, told me the world was cruel, but you'd always play fair with me, said you didn't have much, but you'd share with me. You're the only one I'd let stare at me. I wish I know what you could see. I think it'll help set me free. This next one, thank you, is called New Moon. And it's really kind of about how sometimes in the beginning of a relationship where you're like not sure and there's that anxiety there. New moon. Sometimes the moon disappears, needs some time to renew, hides so that night become inkwell and dreams slither silent on the breeze. Sometimes I think that she's gone for good. My heart grips me the way a sinking stone drags a poet into the river. Lungs start aching, struggling to expand and trying to utter, and I miss you. But the words sputter and flail, a lost feather that is now tucked beneath some other creature's home. So on these moonless nights, my dinner is cloaked in silence, and I wonder how far you've gone. This next one is, thank you. This next one is Chipped Moon. The forest is dying. A wine-red mushroom with golden edges grew on the side of a rotting tree, grew as litany, grew as a cry for hope, grew as huzzah of resilience, and my palms were peeling because of the same toxicity that plagues these trees. I think of poison, about how it is in all the bodies of water, my grandmother, my mother, and now me. I call for the normal girl who I wish I was. That girl with the face that glows with an easy sheen. That girl with shoulders that have no stones in them. That girl with palms of silk. I look up to see that the moon is chipped, porcelain nicked, and that empty space is a sigh. Has anyone ever ached for my wounds, or is loathing the only medicine we've been taught? The neglected girl inside of me wants to change her destiny, so I look frantically for the missing piece of the moon. The shape of the chip is the same as the dead skin flaking off my palms. I know because I put my hands up to the sky to check. And my hands become compass, walking through the darkening forest with a new kind of palmistry. I follow the lifeline, heart line, love line. Electric glow beckons me. I close my palms on it gently, pick it up with both hands. It is virginal white, cool and so precious. But the moon is far away, and I have no way of putting it back. This next poem is called Mystery or Magic. The moon evades me as I seek intimacy, yet she trails my every step as I leave. Am I following you or are you following me? The cord between us is an iridescent tendril from the deep sea. What does the ocean say to the sky at the horizon line? An illusory embrace, a suggestion for a rendezvous. Perhaps it is the line between mystery and magic. Is nostalgia always present in both? Am I missing a mirage caused by my parched mouth? The journey through the desert takes faith or delusion, and I crave to understand where I am in your heart, but when I knock, there is nobody home. This game of tag is a game of broken clocks, speaking in tongues and swimming in dreams, a touch from the past that seeps into the present in my breath, my eyes, my fingers, my feet, a grief that was never expressed, for a love that is not yet admitted. Thank you. So this is kind of a little story arc of a relationship. This next poem is called Tango. You liked my style and I liked yours too. It's a vibe thing. Let's groove with this view. My heart's full of bruises, but I want to see this through. Thought you were ruse. You got me all confused. You're full of excuses. Tangled tango for two. Now, part two of that poem. I've been scared of the truth, used to life being a cruise. I keep trying to forget, but I keep hearing the news. They tell me you're around, getting a table for two. I'm dancing with the juke, but every song is about you. Trying to work on myself, but I'm starting to get the blues. Couldn't trust your hues, tangled tango for two. And so, thank you. So now, after that happened, there's this poem, which is more of a spoken word, so I'm gonna stand up for it. This is called Crack. You broke my heart so gently. Slow slice, a pin scratching the surface of ice. Hairline fine kind of crack. How come the way you're breaking me is still a way of thawing me? That small line revealed the cliff in the glacier that is my heart, and I see now all the grief I've frozen in pressure, all the screams I've caught in suspension, all the tears that I never let flow. I see now that a glacier is just a flood that's been trapped, and I'm telling you, it's been raining for 4 days now. I've cried along every morning and every night, trying to cling on to those stormy summer days we spent inside listening to jazz and vinyl records because it's 2 in the morning now, and I finally see that you aren't coming to the party. Is it too late to thank you? To tell you I did not know I deserved to feel safe until I met you? Until we cooked side by side and shared a meal in a peaceful silence? How could I tell you that all I wanted was to hold your hand the way a 5-year-old wants to bring her new friend to the new park where the new swings are, but I couldn't move towards you because I was never taught to ask for what I wanted, and my hands felt old and rough and stained of so many fingerprints that I did not know how to wash yet. How could I tell you that there is no part of my body that hasn't been damaged? But I felt a wash of real warmth when I saw the way you watched me dance from the other room, like you were seeing some shooting star. But still, I was scared of your eyes. I wanted to know that you wouldn't hurt me for just my wings too, but I didn't know how to ask without showing you all of my ugliest scars. I pushed you away to live off of scraps. Had a whole relationship with you through tarot cards and coaster updates and memories that I'm so scared will fade. What can I say? I caught feelings and was scared of the heights. What do you call the kind of suffocation of a poet who can't say anything she means when she's around you? The kind of drowning when all a girl wants to be is sweet and tender but comes out with knives and battle cries. The kind of torture of someone who can't even be kind to the one that they love. It's hard to talk with collapsed lungs, and I have a million things to say, but I'm only brave enough to be here and tell everyone else in the world but you. I'm sending you peace now, and I'm sending you peace always, and I'm sending her peace too. I wish she can hold you and her lungs are full of air. Thank you. Thank you. And so, after heartbreak, there's always like some self-reflection. This one is called The Valley. The sun shifted behind a cloud, so I began to question gravity. Leaves gathered by the wind in clusters rush down to match the dappled light. Haven't seen you all summer. Is it already coming to an end? Bring yourself to now, my friend says. And a small bug with wide, surprised eyes gives me a kiss and dances with her behind on my finger. Those large maroon orbs see right through me. I look closer to find a reflection of me, no, my heart. It's steady pumping. I squint and I see that in the center there's a scorched valley, wide, open, and so empty. I've spent my whole life sitting in this valley, gazing at the view of the sky. That open blue holding ever-changing clouds, they float so smooth. I dreamed of everything I needed: love, freedom, truth, beauty. There they were, always a possibility, always in sight. But this bug is my messenger, showing me the view from above. It's just been an intellectual exercise. My neck is tensed and stiffened. My shoulders crunch as I shift my gaze to confront the grayed and deadened spaces of my heart. I see all the trees that could have been, the gushing sigh of a river too, a grandmother that had the time to cook for me, and wild hamsters that found low-hanging berries, a father who believed I was worthy, and a side of the mountain that still sang, a mother that could ask me about my day, the ground, soil rich with nutrients, a family that folded the laundry together. This heartache was here long before you. I've been starving for love, and now I have the tears of missing something that was never mine to begin with, a love that I deserved. But when you left something in my palms. It is small and round. I wipe the dust. It's a seed. And this next poem is kind of after that, just like kind of thinking about how our relationships relate to our relationship with our family. And so this poem is after a Chinese poem called with the same name called Quiet Night Thoughts. And it's a poem that everyone in China like memorizes as a child. And it's about seeing the moonlight beyond your bed and thinking of home when you see the moon. Yeah. So it's after this poem. Beyond my mother's bed, I see silver sleet, my grandmother's grief. The jagged edges cut skin. My blood drips down towards that first night she was alone with my mother, who was 7 months old. I think of how she couldn't bear to break the silence to speak to her daughter who knew nothing of plains, or of mountains, or of family, or of face. There's always risk marrying a pilot and accidents happen. You would think someone who lost her father the same way would fall in love more carefully, but the heart chooses what the heart knows. I hear baby giggles become insult, turn into sharp daggers that slice the room into a few shades closer to a tomb and the first sentence of a chapter of No More Dancing. Beyond my bed, I see soft snow, my mother's childhood love. It melts under gentle touch the way she fell into the first arms that reached towards her. She was a beautiful, shivering girl that captured the eyes of everyone. So when husband became liar, she still clung on the way a child clings to blankets. showed me that the only problem a woman could have is losing the luster in the eyes of men. She stayed up counting the things she couldn't receive out loud so she did not hear my cries, did not understand if I needed milk or a hug. The song of a daughter's heart is a refrain of her mother's love, and I am a composer. Beyond my daughter's bed, I see a lake. Shimmering slivers slit soft waters. She'll see a mama who turned grief and self-loathing into a life-giving oasis of love. Thank you. And I don't know how much time I have. I'm gonna just skip this one. And this one is another kind of spoken word poem. It's called How I Miss That Love. When I met you, I was still used to boys with big gestures, cardboard cutout crowns, chocolates and flowers and trips all around, big words and big moves and big woohoos. And now I finally know that that bores me. Flew to Paris just to invite me to dinner, took me to a quaint cabin in the woods, swore he was only certain for his love for me. How corny! They were just stingy boys who were horny, thought a relationship was like purchasing porn. See, they didn't even really know me. Lucky for them, they got out before it got gory, before I rubbed my eyes and saw clearly, before I learned what I deserved and how to love myself faithfully. Now I've grown, learned to mother myself, but along the way, I missed out on something with such a different tone and timbre. A storybook love, a long game love, a small tea candle that still burns love, make home love, make safety love, dappled light love, flickering flight love, knife edge love, stakes feel high love, emergency love, grow up with me in mine love, moonlight love, wondering, is that really Venus watching tonight love? Carry me on the beach love, public love, vanilla milkshake love, is it too late for us love? The world was literally ending when you found me, love. Pandemic lockdown, love. I didn't know that that was love, love. 1,000 tiny blooms, love. Accidentally brushed my hand as we baked bread, love. Almost nothing, love. Play cards with me, love. Did you know that I let you win after you told me you only won that first time, love? The first was genuine, though, love. First healthy, love. Almost everything, love. You don't believe in magic, but do you believe in me, love? The sky turns pink if I feel love, so don't blink twice, love. You might just miss it, love. Can you sing with me once more, love? I'm still waiting for you to fix my fairy lights. They're still dangling across my bookshelf the way you left it when you said you'll do it next time, love. Take your time, love. Unpossessive love. I'm healing myself for you, love. I've picked hundreds of flowers and asked the same question 1,000,000 times, love. I finally don't need an answer. Thank you. And this next one, I'll just finish up with two more. This next one is called Cavity. In the cavity of my heart lies a bell. It rings for the sigh of stars. For the moment a crystal fulfills her holy longing and sings the song that reverberates all the temples inside of our chests. Aren't we all on that same quest? The search for a true love in the midst of toxicity, the search for a medicine to quell the soreness that comes from rot. Is that why I hold on to you even though you're nothing but an imaginary friend? I hear cavities form because of sugar. Too much stagnant sweetness pooled in one same spot, which is to say, the kiss of dying can feel like honey, which is to say you've been a syrup, a distraction from the bitter shadow stitched onto my feet, from the homesickness of all the lives I could be living. Are we all just trapped into our own psyches? Defense mechanisms made of intricate stories, the way silkworms spit their own soft bed. How much unraveling needs to be done for us to become true? How long Do we tend to what ends us? The spell tries again and again to ask how the autumn leaves know when to let go. The truth is, we are all mysteries to ourselves. Is it enough to say that we did catch a glimpse, spurred glucose coursing and strengthening me up so that I can trust the imprint of light in my eyes and carry the weight of myself, to accept that this bell will keep on ringing with or without an answer? Thank you. And I'm going to do, I think I'm almost out of time, so I will just do, can I do a song? Is that okay? Yes.
Cool.
Okay. So this one is called Night Bloom. Let me just put it up here.
Make sure your original sound's on, because otherwise the guitar might not come through.
Thank you. How should I turn it? How can I turn it on? Is it in settings? Can you guys hear it? Okay. I have a secret romance that blooms in the quiet night. It's only really clear to us under the full moon's light. He told me he didn't believe in magic though, so I'll tell him not to blink twice. As if magic didn't exist, how come I felt love just from his eyes? We've got much to do, much to learn, much to see before we're ready to meet again, and I can't tell you when. Our love is locked in a box, buried deep down in the blue ocean floor, and I don't know when it will wash ashore, but I'll carry his light in my home. It's a small candle flame that'll keep me warm, and I'll carry his smile in my palm. It's a guide I need for where I have to go. I'm sorry that we left things with so much in the air, unsaid, unsaid. But I know that if you're my great love, we'll have another chance. Thank you, everyone.